All right, welcome to our happy hour webinar. I have my wine ready.
I do not.
And it is peach wine. It is delicious. So a quick little cheers to all of you guys. Um, for those of you that don't know us, my name is Chalene MacLeod.
And I'm Jer MacLeod.
And we have been married for a very long time. Shorty, you need to go get the wine. I don't know why I forget the wine. You have a couple seconds. You know our story. Go get the wine. So we have been married for a very long time. We have 3 kids, and the 2 of us are the co-founders of FamJam Empire, which is essentially our team within coaching. And Jer's repping our shirt today, actually. I just noticed that. So we wanted to share with you guys a little bit of a backstory about kind of our journey and how we got ourselves here and why we're sitting in front of you on this call right now. A little bit about that, but also we want to get into the specifics of what is coaching, because I know you guys are sitting on this call, whether you are live with us or watching the recording, because someone invited you to check this out. Or maybe you went to somebody and said, hey, I'd love to know a little bit more about what it is that you're doing. I'm a little bit curious, not really sure what it's all about, but I'm definitely curious. So regardless of how you came to be on this call, I know that you have considered coaching or you'd like to learn a little bit more about what that looks like. So we're going to first start with our story, and then we'll dive into the nitty gritty. So again, chat's open. If you guys have questions, please go ahead and ask in there. We have some other incredible leaders on this call. We do not run all of FamJam and our team and coaching and everything that we do. We do not do this by ourselves. We actually have the most incredible and the most beautiful coaching team who is right alongside us. And we like to really just like co-lead and co-host all of these calls. There's other calls in the future from them as well. And so I just think it's so beautiful that we've been able to come together in community through thick and thin. We really have such an incredible family that we have built. And that is the entire mission that Jer and I really had when we began coaching, and we were like, we need a team name. What's our team name going to be? And we wanted it to be FamJam, because for us, it really was about family, and we wanted to build a community where you felt like you were a part of a family, even though we are building businesses alongside each other. So to back it up a little bit, I don't want to say I'm a serial entrepreneur, but I want to say I'm a serial failed entrepreneur. It's really what I want to say I am. So to back it up, through every pregnancy, so we have 3 kids. They're all 2 years apart. So I literally was like pregnant, breastfeeding, pregnant, breastfeeding, pregnant, breastfeeding. Like that was 6 years of my life. I feel like, honestly, it felt so exhausting, but now I feel like I don't even remember those 6 years because it was pure exhaustion. But it was during that time that I really found I was like trying to find myself. And I don't know what I was looking for during those years. I really don't. I don't think I ever felt truly, like I wasn't grateful for the life that I had. I never really felt like I had it worse than other people. I wasn't like, I don't know, I wasn't overly, depressed about the life that we had or that we had built. I was very grateful for the things that we had in our life. And I felt like, I felt like things were going pretty good, but deep down, I really felt like I was searching for something. And so I found myself kind of starting businesses every single mat leave. I would try something and then I would have to go back to work and I'd be like, I don't have time for this. And I wouldn't do it. And then I would start something again and I'd go, I don't have time for this. I got to go back to work again. And I would throw it to the side. And it was this constant cycle of really telling myself, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this, because I was so used to just filling my day with all the things that I had always done. I just didn't know any differently. And I really hadn't found anything that I was super passionate about, that I was willing to make time for. I really didn't. I really was just kind of, again, still searching. And so I found myself after 3 kids sitting there and cue in a ton of body image issues for myself. I had given up on any entrepreneurial journey at this point, and it was around the same time that I had started a new corporate position as an event planner in the hospitality industry. And when I had done that, I was feeling pretty good about things. I was like, okay, new career. This is what I was searching for. I tried to do it on my own. It didn't work. So I got to go back into the corporate world. Here we go. I got this. And, I started focusing on my own health and wellness at the same time as trying to build this corporate career within event planning. And I discovered that I had this like passion that I actually didn't really realize with health and fitness. I was like going all in. I mean, for me, I really was going all in because I hated my body, to be completely honest with you. It was all the wrong reasons why I started. But I'm happy to say that when I started, I found a community, much like this one. I had a coach. And when I signed up to do workouts from home, because I was trying to get to the gym, and getting to the gym with 3 kids is, if you have kids, that's near impossible. So it was really trying to find a solution. And I had found the solution, but the solution of like at home workouts and a simple nutrition plan came with a coach. And it was that, my coach had a community. And I started to feel like I belonged to a community. And I started to feel like, oh, look, there's actually other people who are out there who are trying to do the same thing that I'm trying to do. There's other people that are out there that are really looking to better themselves. And we're all just failing forward. Like, we all really sucked in the beginning of our journey. It was so hard and it was exhausting. And we felt like, are we ever going to reach these goals that we were striving for? It honestly was just like, ugh, I have no idea if I'm ever going to get there. But slowly but surely, the community was just there. And this group of individuals, we were all working at home, and we would all take a sweaty selfie in the morning, and we would all post it to our group, and we would be like, we got it in, we got it in. And when people were missing, they were like, where are you? We haven't seen you in a week. Like, what's happening? And all of a sudden I found community and accountability and inspiration and empowerment. And I felt comfortable. I actually felt like I belonged to something, instead of, we had tried a ton of times to go on a fad diet, to get to the gym, to go to the classes, to do Zumba classes. And, anytime we talk to our friends and family about it, they almost kind of made fun of us sometimes, and it was like, I apologize, my phone is going off. It was almost like, I don't know, you just felt apologetic for being on your own health and wellness journey. Does that ring true for anybody? Like, you go to the barbecue and you almost like feel like you have to eat all the food, even though you don't want to, but you just have to be polite. So you do, or you skip the workout because everyone wants to go out drinking and you feel like you have to be social. And then you're hungover the next day and you're like, oh, why did I do that to myself? Right. And then you start beating yourself up about it. And we never had a community that we really felt like we belonged to. And this was kind of my journey, feeling like I belonged, having that accountability, having that inspiration. I started to see results. I started to actually look for more than just losing weight. Like, that was my goal when I entered. And then all of a sudden I was like, screw skinny, I want strong. Like, forget that. I'm going all in because I want strength. And I started noticing that what I was doing in my workouts actually started transitioning into my real life. And it was the same time that our world got flipped completely upside down. Jer suffered a concussion at work. And it was then that really led him down a journey of, 2 years of recovery. And
3 years.
3, yeah. And it was like everything in me, I needed all the strength that I could possibly get in order to survive through that. And I found it through my fitness journey, which was really weird for me. Like, it was totally unexpected. And I didn't realize that that's kind of what was happening. But then, this is kind of, and Jer will share his story in a second about kind of his journey and how this all came to for him as well. But it really was, coming into community, starting to see results, starting to feel better about myself, noticing my mindset was shifting from just wanting the number on the scale to be smaller to really, how can I show up as a better version of myself today? And how can I take these tools and resources to really fill my cup first so that I can be there for my family who really needed me during that time. It was also the same time where I was traveling a lot for work. I was in the event planning industry. I was in the hospitality industry. I had to go on site visits. I was constantly, traveling across Canada, going into the States. And I didn't want to be out of the house anymore. I wanted to be home with my family. Cue a call, much like this one, an invite to check out coaching. And I said, no, I'm like, not happening. I have this career. I'm not doing this. No, we've been down this path before. I've already said that. We're over. We said no to entrepreneurship a long time ago. This is not happening again. And then another call came up and I said no. And then another call came up and I said no. And then another call came up and I was still thinking about the last 3 times that I said no. And I was like, okay, I can't get this off my mind. I told no one. I didn't tell Jer. I didn't tell anyone that I had been thinking about maybe wanting to coach, because it actually became the thing that I saw as a glimmer of hope to bring me home to my family. And I was almost embarrassed to say it. And I felt like I had quit on myself 1,000 times previous to this. So why would this work now all of a sudden? And how could this be the finally the thing that actually works for us? No, that it's not gonna happen. That was my mindset. And I finally stopped resisting it, and I finally listened to that knowing from within. If you guys have read the book Untamed by Glennon Doyle, if you haven't, read it. It is so good, but she really talks about this knowing, and it's like that gut instinct within. And when I read her book, I was like, that's what I had. That was what it was for me with coaching. I didn't know exactly what it was, and I couldn't pinpoint it, and no one could answer all the questions that I had because I had a million of them. And I never felt like I was quite ready, but I just had this feeling that it's what I needed to do. And so I decided I'm going to be a coach. And I said to Jared, I think I kind of want to, please don't say no right away. Just give me a little shot, please. And, we had a really great conversation about it. But we'll kind of back it up a little bit before we get into the whole coaching thing. But I decided to kind of go all in with coaching and see where it would take me. And Jared was never going to coach.
Yeah.
But here he is.
So here's my story. My story is a story of sometimes the wrong path can lead you to the right places. And I'm an ex-athlete, gym rat. I was in the gym all the time. I didn't want anything to do with home fitness. I didn't think it worked. I had that athlete mentality of you need to be in the gym, lifting weights and doing all that stuff. And I was living my dream job. I'm extremely happy with my career, and I got injured, and all of that got taken away. And I was home for over 1.5 years, and I physically couldn't drive a car for over 1 year. So my life was completely upside down, and my entire independence was taken away from me. And the one thing that I spent my whole life trying to do, I couldn't do anymore. So I fell into some extremely dark holes, and I was going through some severe depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, to the point where I almost followed through with it. Thank God I didn't, but it was definitely heading down that path. And Chalene had noticed that something wasn't quite right. And there was times where she wasn't sure if she should leave me alone. And with her job having to travel all the time, she just ended up telling her boss, listen, I can't travel. I can do the work from home, but I can't travel. And it got to a point where she knew she needed to do something, because I didn't want anything to do with anybody. I was miserable. She's a saint.
No, you were not miserable.
She's a saint for having to deal with me. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to see anyone. I didn't want to go anywhere. I literally would go from bed to the couch, and I wouldn't do anything all day. And depression is very real. And it's very strange how you can convince yourself that your wife and kids shouldn't carry your burden anymore, and that they'd be better off without you. It's insane, because I never believed in that before I actually got injured. And I always thought that suicide was kind of a cop-out. And after going through what I went through, I absolutely understand why someone would. But it's kind of a crazy situation. But Chalene saw something was up and something needed to be changed. And she encouraged me to come try a workout with her. And she just said, listen, if you don't like it, you don't have to do it, but just at least come try it for me. And obviously, you know, she's my wife. I would do anything for her. So I tried, and it did not go well. I lasted maybe 7 minutes in this workout. And I was a disaster. I felt like I was going to throw up. My symptoms were like overwhelming, but it's also the first time that I accomplished anything in months. It's the first time that I ever had that small glimpse of accomplishment. And it brought me back the next day and the next day and the next day until I was able to do a whole workout. And when Chalene talks about community, this community completely picked me up. They accepted me with open arms. And it's a community like that literally saved my life. It gave me a second chance to hug my wife and kids every day. It gave me a second chance to help people in this and let people know that they're not alone, because I'm a football coach by nature. I love coaching. This was not the path I saw my life going in by any stretch. I did not expect myself to be a health and wellness coach ever.
Those words never came out of our mouths,
no,
like ever.
But I'm here and I have a passion for coaching. And the injury was probably the worst thing I ever went through, but it was the best thing to ever happen for me, because it led me here. It led us here. It led us to an opportunity where Chalene could come home full time and be with the kids. And, you know, we're working to bigger goals where I can come home full time and we can run this business together. But it has been an absolutely life-changing experience for me. And I owe everything to this business and the community and the products, because like I said before, I was a gym rat. I didn't believe in it, but I have never seen better results than I have at home in our gym. And I point over here because that's where our gym is.
And it's so funny because like we used to hate working out together, like with a passion.
Yeah.
Going to the gym together was not fun. And now we work out together every single day.
Yeah.
But a lot shifted for us. And, you know, it was during the time where Jer was off work and he was working out and I was trying to build a coaching business. And he was sitting at home. He wasn't working. He wasn't doing anything. And he was like, can I do anything? Like, can I help you with anything? Like what? And I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. Could you do this, this, and this? And then slowly he started doing more and more with the business. And slowly his interest started to peak with, you know, some of the stuff in the back office. I was more like the face on social media, and he became kind of like the mastermind behind the scenes with all the numbers and strategy behind building a team and what that looked like. And that was kind of like your jam.
Yeah.
And I think for most guys, that's kind of numbers.
Guys are number driven. So like, you show me the numbers. Does it work? Cool.
Let's go. And I was more the face online, and slowly that evolved. And Jer, you know, started getting out of his comfort zone online as well. And we started building social media accounts, but it really started with, you know, him kind of behind the scenes. And I was like the face of our team. And so it really has evolved. And I think just like the lesson out of all of that for us was just allowing it to evolve and not thinking it had to be a certain way, and allowing the evolution of, you know, our journey personally, but then together within this business. And, you know, just having that open mind to be able to say, well, you know, what if that possibility is there? And what if I put in the work now and we're able to achieve the goals that we've set out for ourselves using this business as a vehicle to get us to where we want to be? And that was the ultimate goal, was I'm going to quit my corporate career and I'm going to be at home, because we didn't know at that time what it looked like. Jer's back to work full time. He's healthy. He's feeling incredible.
3 years later, but I'm good.
But we didn't know that, right? We were really left in this time of like, I don't know what the future brings. And maybe he never goes back to work. And, you know, we really had to start thinking about how could we secure things for our family in a way that made sense. And so coaching just made sense for us. I want to share with you guys, though, a little bit more about exactly what this is. That's enough about us. We could talk all night long, but we're not going to. So that's enough about us and our story. If you guys have questions on that, you can always ask us. I don't know where my screen went. Can you guys see my screen okay? Good. Okay, perfect. So for us, you know, this is kind of our passion now in helping other people be able to do what we do. And same with, all the other leaders that are on this call as well. It really is because, one, we see potential in you if you're on this call. And two, because we know how it's changed our lives so much. And everyone on here has a different story, and everyone on here is on, a different part of their path and their journey and working towards goals that they've set for themselves. But they really feel like coaching has brought enough into their lives that they want to share it with you guys as well. And so we're going to give you a little bit of a behind the scenes. I think first and foremost, we really just want to say like what we are not.
Yeah.
Because this is something that I get all the time. And, first and foremost, like it says, we share. We are not experts. We are not salespeople. We don't know everything. We don't need to have a degree in anything. We don't need a certification in nutrition or fitness. We don't have the perfect bodies. We are not at our goal weight. Like none of that is us. We are not any of that. And I think that for me was a really big misconception when I first started coaching, was that I had to have the body that I was going for. Because remember, I was still like a slave to the skill at this point in time. So it was like, I can't coach because I'm not where I want to be. I haven't lost the weight that I wanted to lose. I don't have the body of what I think a coach should have. Therefore, I can't coach. I'm not certified. I don't know anything about, I'm not a trainer. I'm not certified in fitness. So therefore I cannot coach. And I'll flip that, because there are people who are trainers and think they cannot coach. So it's so funny because regardless of your situation, your scenario and where you are, we'll find a reason why not to if we're afraid of it. We will find a reason. That's just how we keep our brain comfortable. It's how we keep ourselves safe. And, if you have any of this stuff, it doesn't mean that if you are an expert in nutrition, or if you are an expert in fitness, if you have certifications, if you have the degrees, if you're at your goal weight, if you have your ideal body, like you totally can be a coach as well. But I think more often we get the misconception that those are all the things that you have to be. And you definitely don't have to be all of them. You don't have to be any of them. Or you can be all of them. Our team goal is really to help people live their best life. And that really came from our journey. It came from me just feeling lonely at home and not feeling like I had a place to belong after having 3 kids and not having a ton of friends. I didn't have a lot of girlfriends because I was the first one out of our circle of friends coming out of high school and university to get married, to buy a house, to not have any money to go party anymore because we were house poor, to have kids. I was kind of the first one out of my circle to do all of that. And so I lost touch with a lot of my girlfriends. And coming through motherhood, I didn't find a lot of other friends. So in finding friendship and community in my 30s was the craziest thing to me. But I have never had so many friendships as I do now, even before. Like the deep connection and friendship that I have with people is just out of this world. And that helps me live my best life. Outside of like all the other things that coaching does for us, having that connection, I need that human connection. And I never knew I needed it as much as I do until I found it on this team.
Yeah. And for me, I never wanted somebody to feel alone, because everyone struggles, everyone has their own demons. And I don't want people to feel like they have to go through it alone, because they don't, whether you know somebody or not. And someone's always going through something in some way worse than others. And my goal in coaching is that I wanted to make sure that I would be there for people and be there to help support and encourage and make sure that they knew that they weren't alone, whether I knew them or not.
Yeah. It says there, like, we're going to be your new virtual BFFs. Like we really are. We're not going to go anywhere. We're here and you're stuck with us, whether you want us or not, you've got us. We have all the inspiration, accountability, resources out the wazoo. We really just want to help people to embrace who they are and feel confident and empowered, whether that's in business or in their personal journey. Team goal for us is, that's kind of what it's all about. It's just helping people live their best life. So let's take a little sneak peek into the day of the life of a coach. And we've kind of broken it down into 3 categories: self-love, share love, spread love. So what does that look like? Self-love is you first. And that's how I started. It's not how everyone starts, but it's how we started on this journey. We started with ourselves first. And to this day, the very first thing we do in the morning is get up, meditate, and work out. Is the very first thing that we do. You put you first. And I've never been a part of anything that's like, no, make sure you take care of you first. Every other job that I've had is like, you last.
Yeah.
Company first, business first, get your work done. Once you're done doing what you need to do for me, then you can go do whatever you need to do, right? And this is backwards. We're like, no, 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 no. You got to take care of you first. Because if you aren't taking care of you, how are you going to take care of other people? And that was our journey, If I wasn't taking care of me, how was I going to take care of Jer and the family at the time where he needed us the most? It was a hard concept, especially as a mom, because I felt like I had to put the kids first. I felt guilty over putting myself first. I felt guilty for taking 30 minutes out of my day to work out. I honestly did. And it was like, it's so backwards, because by the end of the day, you're frustrated with yourself that you didn't get the workout in. You're, eating whatever scraps you can find off of a table because you're just didn't take care of yourself for the whole day. You're tired and irritable and groggy. And then all of a sudden you put you first and you're like, oh, I've got some extra to give. Like, this feels good. And so you first, always. And then it's really about sharing that journey and inspiring other people and teaching people things that you're learning along the way. You will learn something along the way. You might not be the expert now, but I promise you, you are the expert in your own life. You are the expert in your own journey. Everyone has their own voice, and every voice matters. And whether you think that your voice matters or not, it does. Your story matters. And so sharing that with other people and inspiring other people to live their best lives is really the next thing that we do. And lastly, we really just continue to spread the word, and we help other people get started within our challenge groups. This is the community that we've been talking about this whole time, is the challenge group. So as a coach, you run a group, and most of you are probably a part of a group, or you've seen us post about a group, and you are in a private community. And this space is really where you are coaching clients and guiding them to the tools and resources that we have with fitness, with nutrition. There's amazing articles. There's additional videos from like super trainers and nutritionists. And we really are just the guide, and we're helping to guide our clients and hold them accountable to their journey. It's not about us having to teach them everything. It's just about being able to help them find the information that is available to us, which is like top notch, by the way, and to be able to give them that guide and that guidance within our challenge groups. So you first, share that on social media, and then help people who want to join you within a challenge group to get results.
And the cool thing about that is it all goes back to you first, because when you pour into yourself, you will show up better for every single person in your life. I promise you that. If you are not someone who has taken the time to pour some love into yourself and take care of self-care and do personal development, I promise you, if you do that, your life is going to change, because you are going to show up better for absolutely every relationship in your life.
Amen to that. All right, daily tasks. So I just included here like a little picture, and you'll see all these check boxes. And this essentially is like a sheet of paper, and it is one sheet of paper that tells you exactly what you need to do every single day. So it really is just about showing up and following the guide that we've put together for you to know what you need to be doing every day to build a business and to be a coach. Oftentimes people are like, okay, I'm a coach. Now I gotta be a coach, and I can't be me. And that's not it at all. You're still going to be you. We're just going to help guide you into how you're going to show up on social media, how you're going to run a challenge group, how you're going to put you first. The very first thing on there is be a proof that the products work, which is working out, right? And following a nutrition plan and using some of the products that we have as well. So you first, again, very first thing on there. So you get this. It is called our business activity tracker. And it really is just guidance so that you can know the activities that you're taking that day will help get you to the goals that you ultimately have for yourself. In my past experiences of trying to start a gazillion and one businesses, I didn't have this. I didn't have guidance. I didn't have someone who said like, hey, here's what you need to do to reach your goals. I started a cake business. I had no idea what I was doing. I literally had to learn everything from the ground up. And being able to jump into something that is like proven success, people who have seen success in this business are literally going, here's what you need to do because here's what we did to find success. I'm like, sweet, success leaves clues. All I have to do is follow in your footprints using my own voice. And here we go, so you can have confidence in that, what you need to do every day as a coach.
And who doesn't love a checklist? It's a checklist. It gives me something to do, a structure to follow. I'm very structured. So checklist for me is on point.
That's too funny. So part of your daily tasks as a coach, and as you will have seen from the person who invited you onto this call, is that we're very active on social media. And the cool part about the age that we live in right now is that we have access to incredible platforms like Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. Not saying you have to be on all of them. You can be on one of them. If dancing is not your thing on TikTok, you don't have to do that. But if you love it, you can build a business. And it's just so cool that we are now more connected than ever because of these social media platforms. And we can really expand, the people that we talk to every single day. We can expand our relationships and our friendships and meet really cool people. The majority of the people on our team are people that we've met through social media. Mm-hmm. Some of them we've never actually met in person yet, which is absolutely crazy, but it's the world we're living in right now. And so you'll see here, it's not about us sharing what Beachbody is. It's not about us sharing a Shakeology bag. It's not about us having stock images just like pasted everywhere on our feed. It really is about us showing our life, inspirational quotes, things that are going to help you in your life. We're going to share tools that we learned when we listened to the trainer in our workout and that really cool quote they said. We're going to share that. The everything we're learning from the nutrition program, we're going to take those tips that we learned that day from the video we watched. We're going to be like, boom, you guys need to hear this. Like, this is the gold. And you're going to start to teach in a way that is just inspiring other people. And it becomes magnetic. And people are like, what are you doing? I feel like maybe I should be a part of this. I'm not really entirely sure what it is yet, but I feel like I need to be a part of it. So this is how we show up online. It really is sharing a bit of our life. But ultimately it's about, teaching other people that they can do what we do as well. So what does our team provide? You will have resources like none other. Let me tell you, there's probably too many resources on this team, if I can be honest with you, but you do get weekly team calls with our team. And that is really just for us to be able to teach you anything and everything about the business. We've actually had incredible Instagram training recently. We have great guest speakers that come onto our calls that will literally blow your mind. We have really just like in-depth kind of kickback Q&As with coaches on our team that are like, hey, what's working for you? What's working for you? Share here, share your story here. What's your struggle? How can we help you? Sometimes we just get together for an hour and we just hold each other accountable and we work. We just sit on a Zoom like this and we just work together. And so you get the weekly team calls with us. You get training calls with not only us, but you get training calls with your coach. We have a ton of Facebook chats that are available to you based on where you're at in your business to help you level up and get to the next level. We have a new coach handbook, much like that checklist I showed you. For the first 30 days, it literally will guide you through everything that you need to do in order to set up your business. And a ton more resources, support, and community. So there's lots that we provide to you. We literally, this is not like a, hey, yeah, why don't you be a coach? And then you never hear from us again. It's like, hey, yeah, come join our team. And now we're best friends. Let's go. So let's talk about how you earn. Yeah. This one here is definitely, I think, the most common question. People are like, great, love the community, love what it's all about. I like what I'm hearing right now, but how do I actually earn anything from being a Beachbody coach? So there's a couple of ways that you can earn. And the first way is we call it like a retail commission. So you can earn a 20 to 40% commission off of anyone who decides to join your challenge group or your team as a coach. And so that commission base, think of it much like, Starbucks. They sell a coffee, they have fees that they pay to other people, but they ultimately are making like a commission off of that coffee sale, right? So anytime that you help somebody get started on their journey, you will earn a commission off of whatever they purchase. It is completely different, so we won't get into all of the different things that they can purchase, but just know that's kind of the structure of it, which is a pretty high percentage, if I'm being honest with you, of the commission that you're earning based off of other models that I have seen in the past.
And just to clarify on that first point, it's anyone you bring on, coaches or clients, not just coaches.
Yes. And the second part is your residual income. So really cool setup that you have one way of earning with the commission type, and then the second way of the residual income. And that is really, that comes off of building a team. And this is something that you won't see in the beginning of your business. Typically, this is something that comes with time. As you start to build your business out, you start to have the opportunity to earn additional bonuses through the residual income feature. There's other bonuses that are available to you as well, based off of goals that you achieve within the business and how well your team is doing. I always look at it this way. I always look at it as I only have so much time in the day. We all only have 24 hours in a day, right? We have the same time. The first way of earning commission, which was really how I earned for the most part in my event planning career, that for me was 100% commission based. And it was based off of my efforts. And at the end of the day, when I was maxed out, when I was tapped out, when the day was over, the 24 hours was up and I had to start over again, I couldn't do any more, right? And I really reached my limit and my potential of what I was capable of earning based on the number of hours that I could physically put into a business. So cue in this business model where now I have this, and then we have a team and they're duplicating our efforts. And now they have 24 hours and they're duplicating it and they're building a team and they're building a team and they're building a team. And it really starts to replicate pretty quickly. Once you have that momentum kind of going in your business, you start to see this residual income that is possible based on the efforts of not just you, but now your entire team. And that's a cool part because I never had that possibility in my corporate career. Not saying that nobody has that possibility or what that looks like, but for the majority of what we have researched, I would say typically you kind of max out, right? Salary, same thing. I mean, there's only so much overtime that you can actually do. Whereas this residual income is like a brand new model, which is why I love the model of this company because it really unlocks so much more. We will get to travel one day. So additional bonuses and earnings and opportunities are available to you within the business as well for trips and vacations. And there's opportunities for us to meet up quarterly as well at events. We usually have in-person events. And I'm like really, really hopeful that one day these events will happen soon. But these are actually some pictures of a couple of the events that we have had the absolute pleasure of being on over the past 2 years of coaching for us. And, I remember the first in-person event I went by myself because Jer was still at home and he couldn't drive. It was an hour and a half away from our house. And I went alone and I was scared and I didn't know what I was getting into and I didn't know anybody. And everyone was like, "Hi, oh my gosh, it's so nice to meet you." And instantly you're just like, wow, I don't have to sit in a corner by myself. Like people actually want to know who I am. This is kind of cool. And then to see this really transpire and to be able to see so many of us in group photos over the course of a couple of years, just to see how much growth there has been. And, it brings back those memories for sure of being able to travel with such an incredible team and to know that we're building really cool businesses alongside this. A lot of these trips were earned by the leaders on the team. And it's just really cool to see. There's a trip in there as well at the top right. You'll see I'm sitting there. I'm wearing the same shirt tonight. And we had the opportunity to go down to California. And it just goes to show that you don't need to you really don't need to be geographically like close to other people, because Danielle lives all the way out in California. We're in Ontario, Canada, not in Ontario, California. We're in Ontario, Canada. And we had the opportunity to go down there. And that was the very first time that we actually met in person, which was so crazy because we felt like we already knew each other. Even though we were like, you're real, you're like an actual human. This is so crazy. So lots of fun to be had with trips and vacations as well. I said this at the beginning, but I'll definitely say it again. If you're willing to put in the work daily, you're willing to set those big goals, there really is absolutely nothing that you can't do. This coaching opportunity for us came at the absolute best time. We didn't know it at the time, but it really came into our lives for a reason. And we put in the work and we set some big, scary goals. And, you know, it's just been really cool to be able to look back and say, we didn't give up. And to see the community that's being built and the fact that all of you have the opportunity to be here because we didn't quit. The person that invited you here didn't quit. And they work really hard at what they do to try and inspire other people to live their very best life. And it's just such a fulfilling, like, I don't even want to say career. It's so fulfilling to have that in your life and to know that you're able to help other people have that same feeling of just like purpose and passion. So how do you get started? It's best, honestly, that you just talk to the person that invited you on here, because we're all at different stages in our journey. I know some of you are already part of a challenge group. Some of you already probably have all of the tools that you need right now in terms of your workouts and your nutrition plan and being a part of a challenge group. Some of you might not though. And some of you might need to first just choose your challenge pack so that you can get started on your journey, because again, you first. So it really is about starting to choose that challenge pack so that you have everything that you need to start on a program yourself and go all in and discover what that is for you. And if you already are in a challenge group, then there's other ways that you can get started. So really important, just reach out to the person that invited you and just let them know kind of your thoughts. You know, what did you think about this call? What questions do you still have? Open that line of communication. Don't let any question go unanswered. We are not here to convince you. We are not here to like drag you through the mud to make sure that you sign up on our team. That's not what we're about. We just want to make sure that you guys have all the information so that you can make an informed decision on whether or not this is right for you in your life at the time of where you're at right now. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. And that's totally okay. But really know that it's important to just open that line of communication to be like, this is what I'm scared of. Because I know you're all scared of something. This is what I'm scared of.
So were we.
We were so scared. I'm still scared sometimes.
Oh, for sure.
But it really is just having that conversation. Let them know where you're at, what questions you have left. And then it's about us getting you started.
Yeah.
And we're going to get you started with our new coach handbook. We're going to get you started with our training. We get you started in our chat together, and we fully just support you on this journey. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen there. And, you know, if there's any questions, did I miss anything in the chat? No? Okay, good. Look at this chat. You guys are blowing this up. I can't look at the chat because then I go squirrel and I'm just like, do. So I'm not even going to look at it. I'm going to download it. I'm going to save it because I just want to read all the comments. But we just want to say a massive thank you to everybody for showing up to this call, for watching the recording, if you're catching the recording of this. And again, any questions, you guys just reach out to us, but we're super excited to see you guys on our next team call. Bye, guys.
See you guys.